The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hey guys, this is Al Petrelli from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Normally, I'm not a nerd, but I am with Tech Talk Radio. God bless, stay safe.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Welcome.
Holidays are in full effect. The Black Friday, Cyber Monday is over. All right, so the big question is, we know that Shawn got something he picked up. You were out, Justin. Did you buy anything? Were you looking at anything for, buying for that time?
I bought some Bitcoin, some Shiba Inu, some Cardano, some Solana. Yeah, I bought some stuff.
Did you get in at the right time? That's the big question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we talked about a few shows ago about the new camera that I got, which is the one I'm using for broadcasting right now. If you want to, watch the podcast, you can always go to techtalkradio.com and you can see it. But the new camera, yeah. So I bought that with crypto. But yeah, I've just been buying some crypto. But
you made a statement the other day. Now we got to remind the listeners, whenever we talk about the crypto, we have to say we're not experts. We're not an investment company. This is just our own experiences that have been involved with it. There's always risk involved with anything you do. But for those of us that purchased crypto a long time ago and have held on to it, those hodlers, they've been pretty happy with it. Now, it hit 100,000, which was, pretty good because I think, we remember the days we were waiting for it to hit 20. And then 25,
oh yeah.
Right?
I was waiting for it to hit 16.
Yeah, and it did. Now, there are some people who are saying that's not it, that it could even go further.
Oh, it will. And now that you've gotten the attention of major corporations, major countries, you got the United States of America with the incoming Trump administration talking about how they're going to want to make a huge Bitcoin reserve. And then you've got Russia talking about wanting to make a huge Bitcoin reserve, and the UK Bitcoin reserve. And then not only that, but then you've got major companies. And just as the time of this recording, the Microsoft shareholders voted not to make a Bitcoin reserve, which I think is a ridiculous decision on their part. But yeah, you've gotten now the attention of so many people, and it's not just regular people like you and me. I mean, these are organizations, these are countries, this is the entire world,
right,
who is now interested in Bitcoin, and this is just the beginning.
Some people are saying that it's a little confusing, that they may want to get into it, they don't know where to get started. We've had Joe Blackburn on the show before. We've had others from Crypto Coin Trader, which is a Facebook group which provides a lot of info. We've had O'Neill on.
We've had O'Neill.
Yeah, O'Neill. Yeah. I'm wondering, if somebody was to come to you and, your cousin or your nephew and say, hey, I want to have.
They've been crawling out of the woodwork.
I want to get into this. So what do I do? What do you do? What would you say?
What I do is I tell people the same thing, kind of what you just mentioned a little bit ago. It's like you got to do your own research. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I'm going to tell you what I believe in terms of the coins, because obviously there's Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is like gold, right? People don't just simply, some people do, but people usually don't just buy gold. They buy stocks. And so you could compare Bitcoin to gold, and then stocks you could compare to like altcoins. Like I said, Shiba Inu or Cardano or Solana. Those are like the altcoins. And that's where you really make your money, or you could lose a lot of money because they're very volatile. But I would say you just simply open up a Coinbase account. And people are like, well, I can't afford a Bitcoin because it's 100,000. You don't need to.
No.
$20, $10, $5.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What you can put like a minimum of like $5 in, and just let it grow from there
and see what happens with it.
I think from when we talked about crypto pretty significantly, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago even, I had started putting in $10 a week.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I've been doing that ever since.
I've been putting in $500 every 2 weeks for the last 6 years.
Oh man, the altcoins like Ethereum also has room to grow as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you were to going back on my analogy right there, Ethereum would be like compared to like the silver of gold, right? Bitcoin is the gold, Ethereum would be the silver.
Right.
And Ethereum is right there with it, but Ethereum really doesn't I mean, not a lot of people are talking about Ethereum right now. It's a
No.
separate chain. It's a separate blockchain. It does its own thing. I mean, a lot of stuff happens on Ethereum, but right now it is Bitcoin's moment. This is a bull market. We can, I guarantee you, if we were to get O'Neill back on the show, because remember, O'Neill was called the Bear Moon. He was the guy that was always against Bitcoin, and he still is. Even at Bitcoin 100,000, he's like, I don't like Bitcoin. I don't like it.
Right.
But he loves crypto. He loves what it can do for people. And so he talks all about the altcoins. So yeah, Ethereum is out there. Like I said, Cardano, you got Shiba Inu, you got Doge. I mean, I made a killing on Doge just because I happened to make a bet. It was literally just like a gamble on Doge. I bought a bunch of Dogecoin right when Trump announced or Elon Musk and the whole Vivek
That was
Ramaswamy.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah, about the whole, like, they're forming this new Department of Government Efficiency, also AKA Doge, which has nothing to do with the crypto coin Doge. But I made a bet. I said, you know what? I think people are going to think this has something to do with this, and so they're going to buy it. And sure enough, the price skyrocketed, and I made a killing.
Right. People can follow it, and I believe they can even follow it and not make an account, but yet still find out,
absolutely.
how much would I have made, or where would it be now, just to see if it eventually might be something you may want to do. And again, this is all personal choice, but you got to do your research.
I would say the best website for you, if you just want to look at it and not necessarily invest, coinmarketcap.com.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple website. It just simply lists all of the cryptocurrencies, and it tells it, what their price is, what the 1 hour, 24 hour, 7-day, what the market cap is, what the volume is. And you can just simply kind of watch it and see for yourself.
We wanted to talk about shopping. You actually started buying or selling, I'm not sure which one it was, on one of the sites that I really haven't thought about in a long time, that is still out there, and people are still going there. They're still selling and they're still buying. eBay.
Yeah.
How was this experience for you? Because, people kind of moved from eBay to Facebook Marketplace, for selling locally. And there have been horror stories about selling and buying on Facebook Marketplace.
Sure.
So, are the same conditions available on eBay? Is it a better experience? How was it?
Well, I think eBay is a little bit more you got a little more protection when it comes to eBay. Facebook Marketplace is a lot of times it's a place for people to be able to meet up and trade what they need to get traded or sell in person. And that's where the security aspect comes into play, because some people have had stories where they're trying to sell, let's say, a PlayStation or whatever, and they go to meet up with the person and they get robbed at gunpoint. Okay, with eBay, not so much, because a lot of times you're usually shipping the item. In my case, I sold my one wheel.
Oh, did you? That one you bought it? What, about a year and a half ago? I remember we talked about that.
Yeah. I haven't wrote it, and honestly, I was like, the price. I mean, I paid $1,500 for that one wheel, and
Lord, Justin,
and it only had about 25 miles on it. It was virtually brand new and upgraded. I mean, I upgraded the pads, the sticky sandpaper pads on it. I mean, I did a couple things to it. So yeah, I mean, I really took a hit. But what I did was I posted it on eBay for a starting bid of $800, and I wanted to try to see a buy it now price of I don't know, $1,200.
Right.
And it didn't sell the first time. But then it relisted, and somebody bid $800, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And nothing. And sure enough, the guy got it for $800, and I'm like,
wow,
dang it. I was like, and then, okay, this is where it went down south from here.
Uh-oh.
The guy buys it. Okay, the one wheel is heavy. I mean, it's like 35, 40 pounds.
Wait,
right?
Don't tell me you didn't include shipping.
Well, no, what I told eBay on my listing was that I will calculate shipping and the buyer will pay a calculated shipping. No, eBay just decided to go ahead and charge him $68 for shipping. And I'm like, that's not even going to cover half of it.
Oh,
so
my
yeah,
gosh.
Sure enough, I take it over to the UPS store. They have to do a custom box first off, so I have to pay for a custom box, and then I have to pay for shipping. It was $122. I contact the guy. I contact him via eBay, and I'm like, "Look, man, I'm sorry, but I'm first off, I'm losing a ton of money. You got a killer deal. because I wanted to sell this for $1,200, $1,300 because it's basically brand new.
Right.
You got it for half price. And on top of that, I'm getting screwed on shipping. And not to mention, eBay took $150 for their fee.
Oh
so
my
I was
gosh.
literally going to walk out of there with like $450
Oh, that's
for
outrageous.
a $1,500 one wheel.
That is
I was going to
crazy.
get that.
Wow.
So I contacted the guy and I'm like, look, man, I'm sorry. I'm a little upset. I'm not going to ask you for anything because obviously, you got a huge deal. The guy was super cool. He was like, no. I've got like 2 of these already, and I know how expensive they are. I know that I got a huge deal, and I know the shipping's gonna hurt you. So just send me a screenshot of the shipping receipt. He paid me $120 on top of the $868 that he had to pay from eBay. So he covered the entire charge of shipping. So I ended up making about $650
Right.
off of a $1,500 one wheel.
I forgot that eBay will take a portion of that.
Oh God, yeah. And they hide it. They don't tell you this, but they hide it. They advertise your product for you, and it's a tiny little checkbox that if you don't uncheck it, they're going to charge you a 10% fee for advertising.
So once you got it boxed up and shipped off, did you feel okay? It's done. Yeah.
Well, no, because now it is somewhere in Montana, because this guy lives somewhere in Montana, and eBay will not give me my money until it actually gets to his house. And he goes to eBay and says, yes, the product has arrived and it is working as intended. Then I finally get my money.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Yeah,
That
it's so
is crazy.
stupid. I hate it.
So-
I don't think I'm ever going to use eBay again.
I was just going to ask, do you
Not for
think
selling, for buying, sure.
Yeah,
not for selling.
I haven't sold anything on eBay.
never?
Maybe something back in like the early 2000s.
Right.
Well, I mean, I used to
But-
sell all the time, but yeah, not anymore.
But it's good for buying collectibles now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bought that lens. I told you guys I got a new lens for my Sony. It's a 35 millimeter f1.8. I bought that on eBay. So basically, I just used the money that I made from the one wheel to buy the lens because the lens I was in a bidding war, and I ended up walking out of there after taxes and shipping. I think it was like $410.
How should somebody protect themselves, though, on eBay? I mean, we know about, the safety items, the safety things you should think about with Marketplace. Never have somebody come to your house. If you're selling something,
No.
I don't care how convenient it is, don't have somebody come to your house. Make it in a public place.
Yeah.
But what about, with eBay, what are some things people should do to protect themselves? Because this brings up a good question about buying and selling online.
Well, I would say one of the things, and I'm sure Shawn, you can chime in here too, but I think one of the things is you do all communication through eBay. Do
Correct.
not do it. Yeah, do not do any personal communication like, oh, let's just take this offline. Call me on my cell phone and we'll discuss the details. No. You do all communication via eBay because if that person decides to try to scam you or they make some sort of a deal with you that they end up not wanting to hold up, if there is no chain of evidence via eBay, then eBay is not going to protect you with it. They're not going to give your money back. As long as you can do everything through eBay, eBay can review all chat logs and say, okay, yep, we see what's going on here. We'll protect you. But if you take it offline, you're on your own, buddy.
Oh, wow. So I had something very, very interesting this past week. I had sent a piece of equipment from our studio that needed to be repaired in for repair. It was not under warranty, but a brand new one would cost me $200. The repair on this item would be $125. So I went ahead. I just said, you know what? I'll send it in. So I sent it into the company. They were nice. They sent me a label to send it in. And then I got an email saying the product's been repaired. This is what was wrong with it. They replaced a motherboard that was a part of it. And to call this number. So I call a number, and it was very obviously I received an offshore agent, not here in the United States. And she said, okay, great. Do you have the number? And I gave the number. She said, okay, how would you like to pay? And I said, well, can I do this online? And she said, no, we don't have that option for you to do it online. You could give me a credit card number over the phone. And
No, thank you.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Why would I? Obviously, it's offshore. I'm going to give my credit card number to a operator, and I'm going to hope that they're not writing it down somewhere else.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Never, ever, 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 ever.
So I was perplexed. Like, what am I going to do to get this? And I asked, can I send a check or money order? or cashier's check? And they said no. They sent me an email saying no, they can't do that. So actually, it was interesting because I was talking to a buddy of mine that used to be in law enforcement, and he said, "This is easy. Why didn't you think about it? Go to the like Walgreens or go to a supermarket that sells the prepaid Visa cards that you can buy a pre amount on a Visa card, and that works just like a credit card. You say, this is what I want on this card, and you could use that. And that way it's not tied to a credit account that you use in the long run."
Yep, that's a good idea. That touches upon the whole gift card scam, though. It sounds similar to one of those gift card scams.
It does,
which it's
right?
not. It's not. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it does bring back memories of the gift card scam. It's like, hey, you need to go pay us. We're the IRS, and you need to go pay us in Apple gift cards. Yeah, it's not quite the same thing. What you're talking about is more like, okay, I have to repair an item, and the repair cost is $742.
Right.
Instead of using your credit card, you go buy a prepaid Visa card for exactly $742.
Exactly. Yeah. And that way I don't have to worry about it. Also, here's a word of warning to you. Also, and he told me this: never pay with a debit card. Your debit.
Oh God, no! Don't use a debit card anywhere ever.
Yeah, your debit liability limits are less, or high. So like, there's only $50 that they'll cover. Apparently, with a credit card, like if you use American Express or Discover, you may have greater security, greater protection on that. So again, you got to be careful of that.
Well, real quick, here's the thing about the debit card is if they get your debit card and somebody takes your debit card number, they can literally drain your entire bank account.
Yeah.
And then your bank account is going to be frozen and you're not going to have any money until the bank figures out what's going on. So don't ever use your debit card anywhere. I don't care. Gas pump, convenience store, Target. Don't ever use your debit card, period. Use a credit card, because a credit card, who cares if they get it? If they get it and make a charge, you just call the credit card company and say, yeah, I didn't do this.
Exactly.
And bam, they'll take it away.
All right, so we know what you got. You got coin. Shawn, you did something a little different. You told us about it, and I didn't think you were going to see this, honestly, for like another week or two, but it has.
I got it 2 days or after I ordered it.
2 days?
God.
Oh, wow.
2 days. I got it. I ordered it on the 2nd of December. I got it on the 5th of December.
All right, give us a show.
This is, if you're watching the video, this is the DJI Power 1000.
You're going to break your shoulder putting that on your shoulder.
I know, it's heavy. I feel like I should do a workout with this thing. I think I'm going to look up the total weight. I think it's about 25 pounds-ish. This is the DJI Power 1000. It is, they call them solar generators, right? That's not really what they are. It's just basically a big inverter, a DC to AC inverter, but it also, so it's got on the front, it's got two 110 plugs, two USB-A, and two USB-C on the front. Plus, it's got the ability to charge it with, I can plug it into an Edison plug on the wall, and I can also then plug in, I can't really see it, I can plug in my solar panel, and it'll draw power. It's basically a big solar controller.
Oh,
so
nice.
I can charge it with my solar panels on the go.
Did you get solar
camping or whatever?
Did you get solar panels with it?
No, I did not, because I've already got 400 watts worth of solar panels on top of my camper, which I can tie into this while we're camping if I needed this. Right now, I've got a lithium whatever they call it, LiFePO, lithium iron phosphate battery in my camper. So this is going to be in addition. Like, hey, we're over by the campfire and we want to have power. We don't want to run an extension cord from the camper, or we're going out for a picnic at the beach or whatever. I can.
Dude, if you're sitting by a campfire and you pull that thing out, you better be pulling out like subwoofers and a DJ set, because that thing is massive. You could hold a rave with that.
Yeah,
thing.
you could.
If I would have had more time tonight, if the boys would have been asleep a little bit earlier, I was going to run my entire setup on this tonight.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because
then halfway through.
Yeah, probably. This will do 2500 peak and I think 2200 watt consistent, which is way more than what my rig is set up. Right, I'm not going to pull that much power, but I'm curious to see what I can do with it.
That is cool.
Like it's mostly just for a little bit of self security, power outages, that kind of thing.
Right.
I'll use it when we're camping, for sure. I'll use it. A good example would have been when we went and shot the eclipse. I had my camper there, but Steve, my buddy Steve, had his setup, his power telescope. I had my cameras going. Dustin had his cameras going. We wanted to listen to the radio. This would have been perfect for that had we not had my camper or other things like that. So a portable generator that's gonna satisfy most of my needs, and it kind of came out of nowhere. I know I talk about a lot about DJI on the show because they're such a great the products that they've put out have been really, really good over the last 2 decades. And this one kind of came out of left field. We were talking about it, and I think we had a drone launched a week before that, but if you can find it on Amazon, I think they're still going for $9.99 right now.
But how much did you get it for, though?
Right. So this is what we talked about last week. Was I texted Andy because I was like, "There's no way I got this for this good of a deal." I got an email from DJI saying, "Hey, Black Friday pre-sale, take up to 40% off." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Cool." I clicked on the link, and I was like, "Oh, it's on sale on Amazon for 50% off already." So it was already like $4.99 or something. So I was like, there's no way that if I put this code in, it's going to apply another 40% discount. Sure enough, it dropped it to $3.49, or I think I ended up paying with shipping like $3.80 or $3.75 or $3.80 for this, which was incredible. And on the show we looked up other comparable models. Like Anchor has one that was comparable, Jackery, Rock Pals. There's a couple other good vendors that make these. But I couldn't pass this up because I was literally sitting on the couch when I ordered it because I saw it. I was like, "Caitlin, I'm buying this." She goes, "What?" I was like, I told you I wanted to buy this when it went on sale."
That's what I was just about to say. How many rose petal baths and back rubs did you have to give Caitlin to let her let you buy this?
Enough, I guess.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like a several $1,000 purchase or several, it's over $1,000. We just trust each other with our money, so.
It's really cool because I would never thought of buying something like this. And I got the Anchor. It's a little smaller. It's a lot smaller. It's about half the size of that. But there is some kind of peace of mind that goes with it, just to have it here and have it charged up, to have it ready to go, that that if something happens, you could turn to this power generator and run an appliance or run something that you may need off of that. And mine, honestly, Shawn, mine was $200. You got that for maybe just a little more than that, and you've got at least double the power, if not more.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the stat sheet and rattle off a few things after the break, but I just don't have it pulled up right now. But yeah, this is just, I'm not by any means a doomsday prepper, right?
No,
I'm prepared to be comfortable. I'm not a Boy Scout. I like being prepared a little bit, right? So my dad always instilled in me that you should be prepared to survive for 72 hours in any situation, whether you're driving, traveling, motoring around. 72 hours without aid.
Right.
That's just kind of that. If you look it up, that's kind of the standard.
Yeah.
Because by 72 hours, it's either gotten way beyond the need for aid or help has come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
that's a good point.
72 hours, it's like, I don't know. I've just become a little bit more paranoid over the last decade. But.
All right. Well, tell you what, maybe you can look up some of those stats. We have to take a quick break. We got a couple of listener questions in. I asked this week for any questions, and we got some. So we will do that with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Send us an X at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So during the break, I pulled up the stat sheet for the DJI Power 1000. It's pretty good, right? So did some quick math, right? It has at 120 volt, 100 to 120 volts. That's the standard American power consumption. It has a continuous output of 2,200 watts.
Oh wow!
So if you do the math on that, at 120 volts, 220 watts, you do the math. That's 10 amps of total capacity. Right? I could run up to 10 amps of power through this thing. Andy was saying something about, well, they could run your freezer. So I looked it up. what is the average power draw on a freezer? Obviously, a compressor startup draws more power, so about 4.5 amps on startup, but then a continuous draw of about 1.5 to 2 amps of power. This could power my freezer for several hours.
Oh wow, that's good. So that
So
we
on top of that, if we have a sunny day when we have power out, I can just extend my solar panel out into the front yard, and just let it trickle charge back in while it's also powering my freezer or my fridge, or it's even enough to run the blower fan on my furnace. So if we have a power outage in the wintertime, it would power the blower motor on my furnace, which is great. So just some peace of mind stuff happening.
Yeah,
with that.
that's
quality,
great.
quality of life stuff. So
and now
the
you
fact
said
that you got that for $350. I mean, that's just
so
that's crazy.
As of this recording, it is still half price on Amazon. You can still go to Amazon and get it from Amazon through the DJI store, half off. So if you can get a code from DJI, you could probably get the double dip discount that I got. So just check if you're interested in these, just go check it out. Right,
Well,
DJI. I have brand loyalty a little bit there, right?
Yeah, I was going to say
there are other brands that are cheaper than DJI. I'm just putting that out there. I'm not.
Well, what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't think anybody's going to get DJI code because you are Mr. DJI. Like, if anybody's going to get a code, it's you.
True. I get a lot of DJI promotional emails.
right.
So,
Hey, did we ever find out if they're drones? What's going on with that legislation? It was.
I will continue and ask ChatGPT because I have a trending topic with them on that. I will ask for an update and I will get back to you after the next break.
Okay.
The thing is this: you can't ask ChatGPT because ChatGPT's knowledge base cutoff is like a year ago.
I wonder. Yeah,
it's been pretty good about it when I ask it for updates. I also have the paid version, so that might be a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I have Gemini.
I've been using it, and I'll get it an update because I've prompted it several times over the last year on this topic. So
yeah, I've been using Gemini. Sometimes I'm happy with it. Other times I'm like, no, you're way wrong, Gemini. And you can tell it, and it will then give you the corrected info. Like, well, didn't you have that info in the first place for you to correct me with it? But either way. All right, we got questions. Listener question. This one is from Ron in Tucson. Said, hey, guys, love your show. Have been listening for years. I say guys, but I do miss hearing Amanda on your show. She'll be happy to hear that. I said, I have a small business and have about 6 computers that I want to get networked so I can share files and printers. Now, if I was to run the cables, I have 2 offices and a computer up front in the lobby. Could I just buy a router and connect them? Is it difficult to set up? And again, that's Ron in Tucson.
I feel like this is right up Justin's alley because this is his daily job.
Oh,
he does this every day.
Every day you're dealing with this.
Oh, man. Could you repeat the question one more time? Because I want to make sure that I understand exactly what he's trying to ask.
6 computers. He wants to have them networked.
Yes.
So he could share files and printers. He was to run the cables, he has 2 offices. Obviously, they're closed off, I guess. And a computer up front in the lobby. So there must be like a lobby, a waiting room or whatnot. And he wants to know, could he just buy like a router and connect them? And
if you've got internet in your office, I mean, probably through, your local ISP, the modem that they give you is also acting as a layer 3 gateway / router. So it is going to do everything for you in terms of handing out IP addresses to each of your devices on your network. I would say probably the only thing you really need to do is just buy a layer 2 switch.
Okay.
Just a Netgear, maybe like a Linksys or an FS. FS is a little bit nicer. FS.com. Just buy a layer 2, maybe even a layer. Well, actually, layer 3 switch. Really. They're not expensive, like $100 for like a 10 port, maybe, for
you don't
a
even
nice
need
one.
10 ports, right? Yeah.
Well, you don't even really need 10 ports, but like a managed layer 3 switch that you can get in and you can set each port to be on a particular VLAN if you want to like isolate printers from computers or isolate security cameras from your computers or whatever. Like you could have multiple VLANs on a layer 3 switch. Honestly, that's all you need, a switch.
Do you need
your
do you need
internet provider is providing you with a layer 3 router?
I'm
already.
wondering, would he need a managed switch, or is that really not necessary? I mean,
Like I said, the only reason to have a managed is if you want to isolate, devices on your network from not talking to each other. Like I said, security cameras. If you got a bunch of security cameras that are wired and you want to keep them separate from the computers, then you want to manage switch, because then you can put the cameras on VLAN 100 and your computers on VLAN 200, so that way they never actually talk to each other. They can talk to each other if you want them to, but it's just like in everyday general traffic, they're not going to be talking to each other.
but they can all be plugged into that switch, and then
Yes.
your internet connection would come into the back of that. The other thought is, if he didn't want to do any wiring, now I have a power line network here. I'm not entirely enthused about it. It's not the fastest option in the world, but could he also do this with a mesh network, a Wi-Fi mesh network? Or when you're in a business, is that maybe not the best idea to, I mean, most of your connections you're going to do, like I know in your situation, Justin, are going to be wired, but in a mesh system, you have, a router. I know Linksys makes them, Asus has them, a lot of companies, Netgear, and then you have throughout the building. So, what would be the solution there?
Well, I'm not even really exactly sure how to approach this part of the question with a mesh network, because you're really opening up a can of worms when you get into like a mesh network. I think this would be something to answer this part of this question. I think this would be better taken offline, to be honest, because there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about when it comes to a mesh network.
At this point, you're at the line of hiring a professional.
Yeah.
At the line of, you don't need to necessarily pay a firm to manage it for you, but like to draw it out, to architect it, to get it on paper so you know exactly what you're doing and what you're getting. You're at that line.
Yeah.
I would almost recommend maybe doing a flow chart of, okay, where is the computers, a flow chart showing the wiring, because a lot of people forget you don't just run the wire on the floor. You're going to run the wire. Yeah. You want to have it run properly. And Shawn, your point, maybe hiring somebody to actually install the Cat 6 jacks or whatever to get them done properly would be,
because what's going to happen is if we tell him how to set it up, hey, here's how you share files, and then he's going to come back and say, hey, I need your help. I unplugged something and now it's not working anymore. Please fix it.
right.
Yeah.
So who's going to maintain it for you?
Yeah,
who's
exactly.
Going to help you when it breaks? Like it's basic technical support, sure, but beyond that, it's that this is you're at the point where you need to hire somebody whose day job that can come and support you at your shop in person and give you the knowledge that you want.
This is kind of what I was leading towards. I didn't really want to say that because I didn't want to put us on the hook for it. But I mean, honestly, yes, if you're looking to get something that complex, you really need to hire somebody to do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. And it can be kind of a daunting task. I don't know if you guys ran the latest Windows update. They just, they ran another update for Windows 11. And unfortunately, the update has taken away a lot of things. Number one, I don't know if you guys noticed, but WordPad is gone now.
Wait, what?
WordPad is gone. Yeah. In the latest Windows update, if you used for Windows
my
11.
computer still has it.
Yeah, you may say you may not have run the other update that is the one that's taking it out. So WordPad is gone for many. The other one is they had a problem with the file sharing. So some people who were able to normally share files over a system, suddenly those shared folders were gone. So they had to be reshared, and it was causing some headaches, which is very interesting. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a story that I saw just actually a couple of days ago that Microsoft has now got a kind of an upgrade path for you to upgrade to Windows 11 from Windows 10, even if you do not have TPM 2.0, or maybe
I heard about that,
or maybe your system is not ready. PC World had the original story, and they have official instructions. Now they are warning you, though. They're saying that it includes, this. You could have problems like system crashes, the lack of crucial security updates that would otherwise keep the PC safe. And this is because in October, Windows 10 will no longer be supported. So the idea was get everybody to Windows 11, and some people are not like me. I'm not able to do it on one of my systems. That was, a pretty expensive processor and a motherboard. Couldn't do it. And now maybe we'll give it a try.
We're in the market. So over Thanksgiving, I was at my in-laws, and they said, we've got this laptop, and it's telling us we need to upgrade to Windows 11. And what do you think? And I was like, well, let's check it out. And sure enough, it's just old enough to not be supported by Windows 11. Not necessarily because it doesn't have TPM 2.0. The processor is an early gen i3 that is just beyond the supported, which, to be fair, it's time for them to get an upgrade.
Yeah.
So I get to go computer shopping with my in-laws to kind of get them an idea of what they want. So now it's, trying to figure out what they want versus, okay, here's what I think you should get. Because if I give them a laptop that I think they would want, they're going to hate it because it's not going to look right. It's not going to feel right. It's not going to be wide enough. It's not, so I'm going to take them shopping. Like we're going to go to Best Buy. We're going to look at computers. We're going to get an idea of what they want, what they want to see, the feel, do you want the number pad, like all that stuff, because they're very particular when it comes to their computer. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to just get them a computer and say, here you go, because then I'm going to be on the hook for, well, how come it doesn't have a number pad? Now I need a different keyboard. Yeah, all this kind of stuff.
Now, here's one of the things, too. After installing this would drive me nuts. It says if your device doesn't meet the requirements before doing Windows 11, you'll see a watermark added to the desktop. And then you'll see a notification of the settings app. And they can only be removed with registry tweaks. That's it. Now, I have kind of an ADD when it comes to notifications. If I see a notification, I want it to go away. I want that little dot. I want whatever that is popping up to just go away. I don't want to look at it. And I get really upset when I have these notifications. So this could drive some people very frustrated. And can you go back to Windows 10? You can, but you'd only have 10 days to do so. And if you don't, you're stuck with what you got. So if you want to go for it, support.microsoft.com. You can do a search for installing Windows 11 on devices that don't meet minimum system requirements, and you may be able to find that there.
Well, what I think happened was they had, and I think they approached this the business way, right? They said, they scare tactic. We're not going to support Windows 10 anymore. You have to upgrade, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure they're getting a kickback from every vendor that installs, all these companies that buy volume licenses from Microsoft probably said, well, if you just make it so it seems like our stuff won't run on Windows 11, maybe people or run Windows 10, they'll upgrade to Windows 11 and we'll give you a little bit of the kickback.
Totally agree.
Because them coming back a year and a half, 2 years later, after Windows 11 was on, and saying, well, maybe your processor could have ran Windows 11. We just didn't know at the time. Of course you knew. Yeah. It's just you were getting more people onto your platform to accept your user in terms of agreements because they've been so much more updated. Plus you get Copilot and all this other stuff. And you know what has fallen off the radar that you haven't heard about?
What's that?
The AI backup.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. What happened with that?
Where did it go?
Yeah. Interesting.
What do you mean? It got the I don't remember what it was called even because it hit the internet saying that Windows is going to capture your desktop every second and store it in the cloud so that you can go back and you can search for where did I put this important PDF on my desktop, and it's going to be like, oh, I'm going to use AI and analyze your entire desktop.
I think the backlash on that just they kind of quietly just said, you know what, we're just going to not do that.
Yeah, because they couldn't answer basic things like where is it stored, where are all these images stored, is it in the cloud, where is it, and it's just how often it's just wild that
all right,
that was happening.
We got to take another quick break. We come back. We do have another question. And, of course, we got some other news that we will share with you with Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the internets, techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
All right, we got another listener question from Mary in Oro Valley. It says, I'm thinking about getting some new speakers for my desktop computer. Is there a brand that you would recommend? A coworker said to get a Bluetooth so I can connect other devices to that. Does that make sense? It does, Mary. However, if you're looking at getting computer speakers for your desktop, Honestly, I would just go with the simple old Logitech 3-speaker system. It's two satellite speakers and a tiny subwoofer that sits under your desk. They work great. They have great sound, and I believe you can probably get those for about $50 on Amazon, maybe 65 at the
Maybe even
most.
less, I would
Maybe
think.
even
Yeah.
less, really. I mean, I would not go with like a super cheap knockoff brand because you're not going to get good sound. I've had the 7.1 surround Logitech. I now have the 3.1, I'm sorry, the 2.1, which means two speakers and a sub. I love the quality just for being able to listen to regular music. I mean, I'm not an audiophile,
Right.
right? I don't need lossless quality with speakers, but for the price that I paid, I think it was like $65 for a 2.1 Logitech wired system for your desktop. I think that's great. Now, Bluetooth is great if you want to be able to connect your phone to it. Now, there are some. I mean, you can
Right.
get a wired system that will plug into your desktop, but it also has the ability to connect Bluetooth to it in case you want to connect your phone temporarily and play music off of that. So I would take a look, but my recommendation, the Logitech 2.1 system.
I mean, one of the best I ever had, and I've got Logitech as well, but one of the best I ever had was Altec Lansing, and Altec Lansing had this system. It was a 2-in-1, but oh my gosh, was it amazing!
What do you got there, Shawn?
The great subwoofer, the whole bit. What have you got?
Yeah, so I agree that having a setup with a 2.1 or two speakers and a sub would be great. I got this as a gift last year for Christmas at work. It's a JBL Clip 2.0 or something.
Right.
It's called a Clip 3. It's Bluetooth. It's waterproof. I can, but I just wanted a quick Bluetooth speaker that I could just drop down by my computer. It's low profile. It sits right in front of me. I have it plugged in power. It connects Bluetooth to my computer. I turn it on. It connects automatically to my computer. But I could take it away and plug it into my phone, or it's got an aux port on the bottom, so I can plug it into a different device, my laptop, etc., or connect via Bluetooth. So
That's JBL.
Yeah, I've had really great success with JBL products over the years, professionally and personally.
Yeah,
Right.
JBL's not a bad brand.
And just a quick Google, Best Buy has a set of JBL 2.0. That just means two speakers, no sub. 2.0. When you say 2.1, that means two speakers and a sub.
Yeah.
That has a powered Bluetooth speaker set with a single speaker and a satellite. So two decent speakers. So there are options for desktop Bluetooth speakers that look like desktop Bluetooth speakers that you can then connect your phone to, your laptop, etc. But also have looking more like a desktop setup, if you will.
Now, for Mary in Oro Valley, who asked a question, one thing you're going to have to think about, though, if you have a desktop that maybe does not have a Bluetooth key, you may have to invest in a Bluetooth key, which you can buy, and they plug into a USB slot on your computer, and that would then, of course, give the ability to connect to those speakers via Bluetooth. So that might...
I feel like you're going to be hard-pressed to find motherboards that don't support Bluetooth these days.
Yeah.
Now, you go back 5 years. If your computer's 5 years old, laptops 100% are going to have Bluetooth. That's just part of it. But desktops, you're going to be, I think, most current generation motherboards and maybe even one generation or two generations older have Bluetooth support on them.
Yeah. I love Bluetooth. I've got a Bluetooth Pop mouse from Logitech. I love it because it's Bluetooth, connects to my laptop, and I don't use up a USB port for the mouse. So it's wireless. So I could use it that way without having to use that. So anytime you can use it, why not? It's a pretty good idea.
I mean, the advantages of Bluetooth are just fantastic, right? At work, when you've got 4 server racks and you don't want to have to, if you have a one screen for multiple computers, a Bluetooth keyboard can save you so much hassle in connecting and getting one computer on a keyboard and mouse.
Absolutely. All right, now, Justin, we know that you have a Tesla. We've talked about Tesla before, and you've been going through a little issue recently. Now, I don't know if it's with the Tesla or the Ford, but what is the situation now with this?
Well, yeah, I mean, my car is a 2017 Ford Explorer. I've had it, before Eric was born. It's been a great car, and I didn't really drive it all that much. I mean, obviously 2020 2020, 21, 22. I barely even drove it because I was working from home the entire time. So a 2017 Ford Explorer, I've got 42,000 miles on it. I mean,
wow.
that's
Yeah.
not very much for, and I've got brand new tires, brand new brakes. Problem is the head unit is starting to fail.
What is that
And
head unit? What is
well,
that?
the head unit would be typically you would think of your radio, right? But it's
Okay.
not. It's not just the radio. I mean, I would be fine if it was just the radio, whatever, not a big deal. But this head unit is the brain of your car. I mean, it controls the GPS, it controls the backup camera, it controls the climate, it controls the radio, it controls all the other settings, it controls your door locks, it controls everything.
Oh,
So if
wow.
this head unit fails, the car is basically a brick.
Yeah. And can
And-
this be serviced or?
No, well, no, you have to buy another one, and they're about $1,000.
Oh boy.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do this because I wasn't planning on keeping this car for more than another year or so because that was my deal. It was I buy this and I keep it for 10 years and then I get a new car.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, it's starting to fail a little bit sooner rather than later. So I was going to buy another Tesla. And I was telling Misa, I was like, I want a Tesla. And right now is the great time to do it because the incentives are gonna go away at the end of the year.
Right.
And Misa's like, no, we're not doing another Tesla because
But-
we need to have one gas car.
Okay, she
and I
does
said-
make sense there, though.
Well, yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
I get it. But I was like, but I want a Tesla. So
Yeah.
she said, fine, take my Tesla.
Oh. And
So
put her in a
now-
gas vehicle.
So she is most likely going to get a 2025 Toyota Corolla.
She's getting a new car out of it. I like it. She thinks
Another
good.
new car, 2 new cars in 2 years. But I get the Tesla. So, yeah, but no, the thing is like I said, I don't want to have to pay the extra money to try to repair this head unit if I'm just going to sell it in a year. I would rather try to sell it now before the head unit fails, so that way I get a little bit extra money out of it because it's not failed yet. It's just start. So what happens is every single time I turn on my vehicle, it has to go through the initial setup process again.
Oh, that's
every
crazy.
single time.
Yeah.
And looking it up online, it says that, yes, this is a sign of your head unit, the computer failing because it can't keep, it's like a memory issue or something. It can't keep the memory in place. So I'm looking at just getting rid of it while I can, taking over the Tesla, get Misa a car. We went out last weekend. We went over to the Toyota dealership in Colorado here. It's like 2 minutes away, 5 minutes away, whatever.
Right.
On a Sunday, they're closed.
Oh yeah, they do the same
On a
thing
Sunday.
here. Yeah, they do
On
it
a
here.
Sunday. Well, what the heck, bro? I mean, not everybody can buy a car on Monday through Friday.
Right.
I would think they would be closed Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
And then open through weekend because people want to buy cars on the weekend.
I never understood that, but if you think about it, most people are financing a new car. Most people are going to do that, and finance companies, banks, it's going to be hard for you to make that purchase on a Sunday. So I think that might have something to do with it. They do it here in Tucson.
I never thought about that.
So that could be it, as well. But were you able to walk around the lot at least, or with all the cars just pretty much?
I mean, we walked around the front of the lot to the point where we could without having to get behind fences. And I tell you right now, the front of the lot was literally was 4Runners and Tundras.
Would she
There
be
was
happy
no
with it?
Camrys.
Because a lot of people have told me they like the way a Tesla drives. That they
yeah.
enjoy it. I mean, would she be
I like
fine
it.
with that? You think?
Oh yeah, no, I think, well, I mean, that was our goal on Sunday was just to go get a simple test drive, not to buy it, but just to go get a simple test drive. But, yeah, we couldn't even do that. So I think we're going to try to go again on Saturday of this week here and maybe go do a test drive. And who knows, maybe we walk out with a new car. I don't know.
How about a hybrid?
Well, that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
it's a plug-in hybrid Camry with intelligent all-wheel drive. That was one thing she wanted was all-wheel drive.
Yeah, Camrys
And I
have been
told her-
around forever, right?
I know, but I told her, I said, you can't get an all-wheel drive unless you go SUV. And she's like, I don't want an SUV. I want a car.
Right.
And so finding the Camry was one of the only ones that we could find that had an all-wheel drive in a sedan.
Don't you hate buying a car though? I mean,
I do.
Nothing
Oh,
against
my
the
God.
car dealerships.
Well, that's why I love Tesla. Tesla, they don't give a crap. They're just like, this is your car. Do you want it or not? Like, oh, we're not gonna negotiate. This is the price, and to take it or leave it. But when you go to a typical car dealer, they're like, well, we got incentives and we got a deal,
Yeah.
and here's the Foursquare. It tells you what your payment might be, and I'm like, okay, first off, if you pull a Foursquare on me, and anybody that's been to a car dealership recently knows what the Foursquare is.
What is a
If you-
Foursquare?
this is their way of trying to get you to make the deal look good.
Oh boy.
Okay, when you go to a car dealer, if they call it a foursquare. Literally, they draw a cross on a piece of paper and they put the different payments with the different APRs in each of the squares, and they say, well, if you put down this amount of money, this is what your payment will look like. But if you put down this amount of money with this interest rate, this is what. So they basically, it's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And if they pull out a foursquare on me, I'm walking out.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them right away. I'm going to tell them right off the bat. I'll be like, all right, now that we've done the test drive, let's go talk price. And if you pull a foursquare on me, I'm going to walk out of this place.
And you're looking new, so you don't have to worry about a Carfax or anything like that, right?
Yeah, no, it'd be new. It'd definitely be new. But yeah, again, I don't like dealing with car dealers.
How much more life does the Tesla have on it, do you think?
Oh God, I would say probably another 10 years, if not more.
But she doesn't want you to be an all electric car, a household. So the idea of pitching her Rivian or any of the others.
Well, Rivian would be great, except Rivian doesn't make any cars; they make SUVs. And again, she doesn't want an SUV.
All right.
And Rivian is too expensive.
Yeah.
I even pitched her a Volvo, and she was like, "Well, it looks beautiful, but
They're
it's
safe.
way too expensive."
Yeah, they're very safe cars, though. Volvos.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know much about Volvo. I've never driven a Volvo, but what I've heard from people that own Volvo, once you buy Volvo, you never buy anything else.
Yeah, I do know that Rolls-Royce has just put out a Phantom.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
That's an electric.
Okay, Andy, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin, okay?
I mean, you can do it for $500,000, you know.
Yeah, well, I'd have to sell I'd have to sell a little bit of Bitcoin for that.
All right, well, listen, we got to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Tech Talkers. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Hey, this is Diedrich Bader, Batman, and you're listening to Tech Talk Radio.
So I'm wondering, did you guys play Fortnite at all?
I've probably played 2 minutes worth of Fortnite.
I probably played about 20 hours total.
Yeah, Fortnite was kind of geared at maybe a younger set of gamer. Well, Epic Games, who put that out, you know, that there was they said that there was some stuff going on where people were kind of forced into or coerced into buying loot, and they didn't have to be able to play the game. So there was a big lawsuit, and we're talking a lot of money. And the Federal Trade Commission had their settlement with Epic Games. Those payouts are coming. Now, the thing is, I wanted to make sure we mentioned this because there's still time to claim if maybe this happened to you. You were charged for in-game currency or items you didn't intend to or buy between January 2017 and September 2022. Your child, and I know this has been the case for some of you, made unauthorized charges on your credit card between January 2017 and November 2018, or your Fortnite account was locked after you disputed charges to your credit card company during the period from 2017 of January to September of 2022. The deadline, we're talking, I mean, they're saying could be some good money for people.
This sucks because Eric just started playing Fortnite, and I'm thinking, well, hey, I can get my money back, but no.
Now, you have to be 18 years or older to submit your claim. The deadline, that's why I wanted to mention it, is January 10th of next year, which is not that far away. You can go to the FTC's official refund page for Fortnite refunds. You can find it at ftc.gov, and they'll go ahead and take care of that. So just a little something.
Well,
there.
I mean, the thing is it's not just Fortnite. I mean, Roblox does this. Minecraft does it to a certain extent, but not nearly as bad as Roblox and Fortnite. But yeah, I mean, they entice children to make these purchases because, I mean, constantly Eric is always begging me like, Dad, I need $5 for this Roblox skin.
Right?
No, the heck you don't, because it doesn't do anything for you. And I'm not going to buy a $5 skin for one single game inside of Roblox. It's not Roblox as a whole. It's one game inside of Roblox that you are going to play for the next 72 hours, and then you're going to move on to the next game, and you're going to want another $5 and another $5. This is predatory, in my opinion. And Roblox, don't even get me started on Roblox. I just told Eric today he's no longer allowed to play Roblox.
Well, one thing is that remember your smartphones. If a game is free and there's loot crates, you're probably that's how they're gonna pay for it. So again,
it's the old adage: if you're not paying for it, you are the product.
I blame Candy Crush.
That started it all.
I blame Salesforce.
Salesforce. What is that?
Yeah,
one?
they started the whole software as a service.
Did they?
All these subscription models. Yeah, I watched a great YouTube video on it. Maybe we'll link it on the blog. It was a great video about how Salesforce started this whole thing with Netflix and all this other streaming and software as a service with the HP Ink cartridges and all this.
Oh, yeah.
Salesforce was the one behind it, and I think they really honestly had a hand in the whole thing with the microtransactions on video games too.
I'm so mad at Candy Crush too, and Clash of Clans.
Oh my
They
God,
got
dude,
some of
Clash
my
of
money.
Clans, I spent like $2,000 on that game.
All right, that's it for this week. We thank you so much for tuning in. You can find more. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll find the links and everything up on our website at techtalkradio.com. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy, and I know that you have Spotify, so find us on Spotify and subscribe.
Wait, we're there?
Have a good week.
We're there?
We're there?
Are we there?
We are there.
Oh,
I'm
good.
subscribed. Why aren't you?